Hi everybody, I'm Hayley Solich and I'm the publishing editor of Golden Pen and Golden Pen for Christian Women magazines, and I'm very excited today because I've got Kathie Long joining me to talk all about our new program, which is the Virtual Book Club, which is part of the Sisterhood membership program on our website. So if you are an avid reader or someone who's just likes to read, or just feeling isolated and wanting to have connection with women from all around Australia and overseas, then this is a group that you might want to consider joining. I'm going to let Kathie tell you about what we're going to be doing in the Virtual Book Club, and she's amazing. Just to introduce Kathie, she's a pastor, an ordained pastor. She's done many years of ministry to the body, and I know that she just has a real heart for connecting people and nurturing and discipling and helping them to be empowered and to grow. So I'm going to let Kathie tell you all about what she's going to be doing with you. Thank you, Kathie.
Thanks, Hales. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to see more people connect. Obviously, we're aiming this at women, but when women are connected, their whole family benefits from it. If you're a woman, women, we just need friends. We just do. And we need a variety of friends. And what I like about the Virtual Book Club is that they're friends that you can take with you anywhere. So if you relocate, or if you're isolated geographically or situationally, you've still got those friends that you can connect with, and that's really important to me. Life is hard without community, and God never intended us to be without community. He put us in a garden, and He came and He communed with Adam and Eve every night and walked with them. So His heart was for connection. His heart is still for connection. And I think, as a group of women, if we can sharpen each other and see our minds being transformed by what we read, because what you put in your mind, what you read, is actually really important to what works out in your heart and in your life. So I'm really excited about women getting a hold of stuff that's going to see them be freer and just get rid of some of the rubbish that we might have collected along the way in life. See us freer, see our minds transformed, but more than anything, see us more like the image of Jesus.
Yeah, awesome. And I know that we're going to be studying some fantastic material. I interviewed Leaky Foldeen earlier this week. Leaky's from Mount Tambourine, and she's an Australian singer-songwriter and an author and a public speaker, and I just loved her thinking space. People that just take something that's a normal thought process and they tilt it slightly, and you get this new perspective. So Aliki's new book, Fine Lines, is one that we have on our list, and it examines the difference between a truth and a lie, and it looks at some very common misconceptions about Christianity and our walk with God. Can you tell me what other books we're going to look at? What's the first one, for example?
Sure, the first book we're going to be looking at is called Telling Yourself the Truth, and I have a copy of it just here.
Yep.
This book, in the title, it's aimed for, find your way out of depression, anxiety, fear, anger, and other common problems by applying the principles of misbelief therapy. But you don't need to be in that space to get benefit from this book.
Okay.
Sure, if you want to, if you're in that space, let's do this book and let's get what you need out of it. Let's apply the stuff from this book to your life. But if you're not in this space and you know people that are, you might be able to use it for that. But it's just some really good foundational principles. Misbelief therapy, it's about choosing to believe the right things, and it looks at what we've chosen to believe as a misbelief.
Okay.
So, it really confronts some of those things. And I love what he's saying about his book, which is our second book that we're scheduling in. Because we all know, Hales, it just takes, you can have 99.9% truth, but if it's not 100% truth, it's not truth. It doesn't take much to just twist it for it to be a deception. None of us want to be in deception. We want to be in the truth of God's love.
Yes, absolutely. And we had a fantastic service this morning, and John Latta was preaching on that whole very thing. What is the will of God? The will of God is that we would experience love in its many forms, and that we would be able to first receive love from God, and second, pass that love on to others. And I think that's where we're coming from with this group. We want a foundation of love and acceptance and grace, and to see people, just blossom in the group. Would you say that's true, Kathie?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, if you're someone who loves getting into a book and loves, when we get into a group and we discuss a book, that's when we start to find out different people's perceptions, and we start to see things. Our eyes are opened a little bit more. We start to see things differently. And sometimes we realise that maybe the way we've been seeing things needs to be slightly altered, needs to be changed. Yes. And it's my heart that, this book club would really see us just going for God and just being the women that He created us to be.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm really looking forward to doing Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers as well. I haven't read it yet myself, but I've been told since I started telling friends about this book club, they've all said to me, "You must do this book. It's changed my life. It's saved my marriage. It's changed the way I've looked at it." And I know in our walk through church, we were in a church one time where the senior pastors had to hop up and confess that one of them had been in adultery. Yes. The most touching thing for me, I don't wish that on any church or anyone, but the most touching thing for me was as one of the pastors was confessing it, the spouse put their arm around them to give them the strength to continue on. And the way that as a church we journeyed with them through this, to see their marriage once again reconciled and then once again restored to the senior pastorate, was just, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And if we can get the heart of God that there's nothing that can separate us from His love, well, we start to work in that. We don't see people just saved left, right and centre. When we truly start to walk in that love that says, I don't accept what you're doing, but I accept you and I care for you. Yeah. Yeah. You break down a lot of barriers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, that book, Redeeming Love, is one of my all-time favourites. I read it at a time when I was separated from my partner, and it did save my marriage, because what it showed me, and I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil it for people, but it showed me two characters coming from completely different perspectives about life. And you would think that the character that was playing out the most would be the one that was the most at fault. And yet, as you examine the two people's lives, you see the character that was the righteous, self-righteous person actually coming to that understanding of their own weakness and their own misconceptions. And so it was that whole thing. It really challenged how I was thinking and considering my own partner and my judgments I was making. And I just thought, I think it's a great catalyst for people to start to really think about what is love. And when I got to interview Francine Rivers, and she's just an amazing woman. She wrote for 20 years for this romance market. Then she got beautifully saved, and this was her first love gift book back to God. And it must have been penned under the anointing of the Holy Spirit, because it just takes you on this beautiful journey and it opens your heart to God. I know a friend of mine who's she's now an international minister, and she, at the time I met her, she wasn't even with God. And this book brought her into that beautiful first love with Jesus. She was so touched by His grace and His love. And so I just know it's going to be a treat, absolute treat for people. So is there anything else that you wanted to say, Kath? Sorry?
Well, I just don't want to take, those books are great. I just don't want to take away from the first book we're doing. And also, people that are joining us, feel free to make recommendations of books as well. It's certainly not, it's not my book club. It's a club that belongs to all of us. Yeah. And as a community, I'd like to hear I'd like other suggestions. I guess the important thing is to bring along your cuppa. Yeah. Make your cuppa before you sign in. Yeah. So it's just like we're going out to another book club. Yes. But we're creating this online community where women can talk about books and discuss the books, where they can talk about how they've applied a principle from a book that we've read to their lives, and the outworking of that, things that have challenged them, things that have encouraged them. Yeah, and it's just we really connect. Yeah.
Awesome. And when's the first get together of the club? Because we're doing this introduction stuff, but when are you actually going to have your very first session?
Okay, our very first session will be on the 23rd of August,
Okay.
so 2013. So that gives everybody an opportunity to go and get yourself your Telling Yourself the Truth book. And we've got a link on the website to Amazon. We can get that.
And how much of the book do they have to read for that very first session? Or are you going to put up a reading timetable, or how do they know what to do?
We'll put together a reading plan. I think that we could do this book in 3 weeks and just do the first 5 chapters in the first week. But in that, I'll leave it open. I'll let people let me know how much they've gotten through. If they've gotten through 1 chapter, then that's what we'll do in that first one.
Okay.
It's ideally let's do 5 chapters, but I'll have the reading plan on the website.
Yes.
As well.
So that's christianwomenmagazine.com, and then you go to the Sisterhood, sign up for the membership, and then you can join the virtual club, and you can scroll down under the Sisterhood tab. It's got the virtual club, and the reading list will be on that page. The other thing I was going to say is I have had questions asking, what if I can't get on right at 12 noon? Maybe they're working or for other reasons don't get back until a little bit after that. Can they still join in if they're late? And also, what if I miss a week? How is that going to be a problem with the club? So they're just a couple of questions. Do you have any ideas on those, Kathie?
Sure, I don't mind when you join. Just come join us. That's great. You know, we're an open club. We're an open book club, so it doesn't matter if you miss a week. You miss a week. We have life. We all have lives. It's not. There's no role here. We're not ticking names. You know, if you can join us, that's fantastic. If you're running 15 minutes late, half an hour late, 55 minutes late, 57 minutes late, I don't mind. Just jump on and join us. Get that connection happening. Because in essence, this is really what we're looking at, the connection side of things.
And we are going to try and record those sessions so that people who do miss out can find it. And it will be in a locked area, so not everybody will be able to access the page, so the privacy won't be an issue. What I want to do is give each person a password, and then they can go in, who's in the book club, they can go in and use that password to access any of the information about the book club. I think that's an easy way to manage that. So if you're sitting at home and you want some fun and engagement and growth, the virtual book club's where it's at. You have to come and be part of the Sisterhood. I just think it's going to be an awesome opportunity to connect and to grow and to share your ideas and your thoughts, because we all have different ones and they stimulate each other, and I think it'll be an awesome opportunity. So go, if you're interested, pop over to our website, christianwomenmagazine.com, and sign up for our the Sisterhood membership program, and then you'll automatically be eligible to come into the virtual book club. It's a 99 cents trial for the first month, then $4.97 each month thereafter. This is going to be a weekly event, so you're going to get plenty of value for your money. It's really very cheap for what you're going to get out of that membership program. Awesome. So thank you, Kathie.
Thanks, Hayley.
Any parting thoughts that you want to put out there before we go?
I just love the idea of the sisterhood, because those of us that are privileged enough to have sisters know that when that relationship's right, it's incredibly precious. Yes. You know, anthropologists have said that it's the most competitive of all relationships, but once it's worked out, it's the strongest of all relationships, which actually shocked me. So for those of us that have had sisters where it's great, we know we're privileged. We know that's fantastic. For women I've spoken to that don't have sisters, it's always been a heart's desire that they had sisters. So this is a way to get sisters to join in with women that love God and will love on you, that nurture you, will be there for you, will challenge you gently if that's needed. Yes. You know, just come and be a part of something. Come and be part of a connection that will, see you through life.
Awesome. You couldn't have summed it up any better than that. All right, Kathie, we'll see you on the 23rd of August. Looking forward to that. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Thank you. Bye.